and much like a webinar, a blog has become associated with content that has very little value. That's why I like to use the term articles. So if you're creating content, try not to say blog post, it's an article. I even encourage people on the navigation on their websites not to use blog. I use articles or I use insights. Ed Rigsby uses article bank, I believe is the term he uses, so that it looks a little bit more professional. When I think blog and when other people think blog, when you think blog, you may not think it's worth watching or reading, but an article sounds like it has a little bit more heft to it, and that's something that I think you'll find a little bit will give your content a little bit more credibility just by renaming it. And a lot of the things with content, it really is just having taking that step beyond what does everybody call it? Well, it's a blog. Here's my blog. Well, you'll take it more seriously. Other people will take it more seriously if you just reframe it as it's articles or it's insights. This is what I write. I write articles. I don't write blog posts. And that is something that I like to do. And it's all, and I actually have a subscription service. I've had people sign up for it where I charge them $600 a month, and I write all their blogs for them, and I just write articles based on content that they've already given me. So it's now scribble it out. Now everybody here has probably got a Google alert for their name and maybe their topic. Is there anybody? And again, I don't have any polls here, but. Is there anybody who doesn't use Google Alerts or doesn't know what they are? Just make a mention in notes and I'll go through it. If not, I'm going to show you how to weaponize them.
Maybe run through it a little bit, Aiden.
Just go a little bit? Okay.
Yeah, right. Yep. I've used them. I get them daily, and I don't go back and reset them up, though.
Okay, so what happens is people generally will set up a Google Alert for their name, so that if their name is mentioned in an article or on a website, it comes up. There's a kid, Aidan Crawford in Ireland, who won some award last year. It was I felt like sending him a note saying, congratulations, kid with the same name. So those things, so you'll get those kind of notifications. What I would recommend you do, and this is basically how to create content on the fly, especially for people that find themselves struggling to develop content. Compile a list of topics that your ideal prospects are going to be interested in. Now, we already talked about defining who your ideal prospects are, who your ideal clients are. Now you go that step further, go, what are they interested in? What are they going to be interested in reading? And how does that fit into my expertise? So Google will then send you news articles or blog posts based on those terms that you put in your Google Alerts. What I like to do, if you want to fill out your social media footprint, is you can take those Google Alerts and you can put them on a tool called Buffer App. So I think it's buffer.com or bufferapp.com. And what you can do is you can just sit there as you're having your coffee on Monday morning. All these articles that are related to your ideal clients, you can kind of buffer them out. So Buffer will actually schedule them to be tweeted out or shared on LinkedIn or during or through the different social media platforms on whatever kind of interim you want that throughout the week. So by the time you're finished your coffee on Monday morning, you could conceivably have 20 articles that are not your content, but can establish you as somebody who is keeping up with the thinking in different areas that your ideal clients are interested in. Now, another tool that I would suggest you do is when you have these articles coming into you, when you have these articles coming into you, create an article from them. If you're really struggling to create content, you can quote from the original article. So let's say you get sent a blog post on leadership in working remotely, on how leaders lead remote teams. You quote from the original, you link back to the original post, so you give them a little bit of SEO love. You say, hey, you know what? So-and-so wrote this article on leading remote teams. Here's a quote. Then you add your take on the quote. So how does your expertise either reinforce the quote or What is your opinion based on that article? And you're really starting a discussion, and you've created your own content. It's very easy to create a blog article that's 700 words based on content that somebody else has already written. So you're not plagiarizing anything. All you're doing is saying, here's a quote, here's my take on it, or here's a situation, here's a quote from an article I read last week, here's my take on that article and how it relates to the original problem. And then here, if you want to talk to me about this, send me an email. By you acknowledging that there's other people that do something similar or have an opinion or work in the same space, that shows the confidence. So you're confident in your work. You belong in the same. So Greg, you belong in the same conversation as Jeffrey Gittimer.